So after our stay at the beautiful and secluded Sojourn cabin, and in case you haven't seen that video, then make sure to click on the card in the top right hand corner, we headed back into the town of Anomabo to explore and learn about the locals. On our drive up here, we had passed the fort, and upon googling, we got to find out that it was one of the major players in the transatlantic slavery. Just like any other tourism attraction in Ghana, visiting the fort in Anomabo comes at a small cost. Booking has to be made in person at the tourism office on arrival, and the cost is roughly between 30 to 50 Ghana cedis per person.
This particular one was purposely built for. He's going to tell you about the story. It was purposely built for the. So he's going to tell you a lot of. Any question that you want to ask him, you ask.
We are going to visit Memorial Garden of Return, which initially the place was called Heroes Garden, and later converted from Heroes Garden to Memorial Garden of Return. When it was Heroes Garden, the garden consists of only 3 structures.
Previously known as Heroes Garden, the Memorial Garden of Return, which features statues of some of the great men and women in Ghana's past, like Ekam Ferguson and Nana Amono. The garden now also features symbolic statues of people of the African diaspora returning home. Built in 1753 by the British, Fort William, also known as Fort Anomabo, was the center of the British slave trading along the Gold Coast until the slave trade was outlawed in 1807. It is believed that over 300,000 Africans from Ghana and neighboring countries were kept in this fort awaiting shipment.
Church, but in Fort William, we don't have school or church. We have male and female dungeon, slave market, administration block, and themselves. Door of no return, governance hall.
The door of no return was the point of which many of the enslaved took their final steps from their home continent and country onto the slave ships that would bring them to the New World. That is even if this is a journey.
Room, and then clinic. From Salga slave market to Central region, they worked for 7 good months. Because Fort William or Anomabo Fort is very close to Asemanso. Fort William transported larger slaves than other forts in clusters. Yes. Gold Coast, in the Gold Coast era, Fort William was #1 slave market center. The reason why we don't hear more about Fort William is that after slave trade was abolished in year 1865, forts and castles were there very idle. They used some as prison centers. Here is Mill Dungeon. 215 male slaves were held here. Here is their source of ventilation. At the same time, feeding hole. They feed them through this hole. Yes. So among the 500 here, beautiful ones are selected as their concubine. That they had children with them. So if you hear names like Ferguson, Anderson, Peterson, McCrane, Brown, Bannerman, Van Dyke, Van Ness, they are all offspring of the whites.
So after exploring and learning about the horrors that took place in the dungeons, we made our way to the top floor of the fort, which was the home to the governor and his guards.
Governor's Hall has 1 entrance, 1 exit, and 9 windows. After Ghana prisons, they use here as Anomabo Community Library. Because many inmates and the slaves died in the forts, they fear coming to study.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. That's why the books has been abounded.
You won't sit well with your spirit. You're standing on the ground where people have suffered.
Yes.
And plenty like dying. There's spirits here.
The spirit, yes, there are spirits here. That's why the first I enter, I beat the gong gong.
Oh, okay.
To make them aware that we are coming to this place. Yes.
No visit to Anomabo is complete without taking a walking tour of the narrow streets with their beautifully coloured buildings. A must-do is meeting the friendly locals, exploring the seafront, and visiting what I can only describe as the most hectic fish market. Just like many coastal towns in Ghana, it's common to see that the men of Anomabo are generally either fishermen or work on trades with ties to fishing, like carpentry of the boats, weaving of the fishing nets, and etc. All whilst the women are in charge of making sure that the catch of the day brings in the cash. And that is it for the vlog, guys. So we've checked out sojourn cabins. Literally this morning we actually intended to take a bit more pictures and do a bit more videos, but unfortunately the rain said no, so you couldn't actually do anything. So checked out, drove about 5 minutes. We actually also tried to book a walking tour of the Anomabo area and town, but we also couldn't do that because of the rain. So we drove ourselves literally 5 minutes to the town itself and then got a nice tour of the Fort William.
I think this one is quite it's got a lot more, well, it's a bit like Cape Coast, like you said. It's got a lot of history, but this one particularly strike out to me because more slaves came through this one, yet it's not the most popular one because the government hasn't done a great job in restoring it and creating awareness. But it was definitely one of the main forts that were used to transport slaves out of Ghana, Africa should I say, because they were slaves that were captured up in Chad and so on and brought all the way through the northern part of Ghana down all the way to Fort William. And to get to Fort William there's a river through the Volta that they use, so they transport from the Volta, and the nearest fort was actually Fort William, so that's why it was one of the most used. So a lot of people's ancestors came through those doors and the door of no return. Yep. Yeah.
Right, so from here we got a 3.5 hours drive back home. Yep. I know this miss is she gonna probably fall asleep whilst I drive, because that's what happened on our way here.
I'm gonna wait for you this time because I don't want to do that. The last time I was knackered, but this time I'm gonna do well.
And it's fine. I'm okay. I'm good at driving well.
I know you are. I just want to stay awake and see the town, see all the small towns we go past.
Maybe if you see something interesting, we'll probably stop and take pictures and do videos. All right, cool. Well, until next time, guys. Thank you for watching, and do all the jazz. You know what to do with the video and stuff like that.
Peace out.
Tick 1.